Hey, welcome to the training. Glad you're here. We're gonna talk a lot about problem solving in this first one. This free training has three parts to it. We're going to talk about the challenges that face our industry in this first one. The second one's on income, and the third one is going to be on expenses. And our goal for this whole thing, this mini training, is for you to be in business a year from now. We want you to succeed. We want you to win. We want you to say yes to your future and not get bogged down in the challenges you're going to face. Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay. The trucking business. If you haven't already jumped in, if you're operating now, you understand. If you haven't yet, if you're considering getting your own authority, being a new carrier, going out on your own, the reason we get into this is opportunity, right? Piles of cash. This, in 2022, this industry, trucking transportation, is a $940 billion, with a B, billion-dollar industry. Now, look at that number for a second. 940 billion. How much of that would you need for every bit of your dreams to come true? Right? Like, it's a big industry, and I would only need just a little bit of that to have everything I ever wanted. Okay. So I want you to get excited and go get some of it. That's why we're here. It's good to do good things for yourself, for your family. It's good. Let's get some of it. Not to mention the freedom of being your own boss, being the captain of your own ship. It makes you feel like an explorer, like a cowboy, like a sea captain, like there's so much opportunity in this industry. You just have to understand some basic things, and it can really be quite easy. Never 100% easy. It still takes work, but it can be pretty easy. So here's just some fun statistics. Super fun. 85% of trucking companies fail in their first year. And truth is, it's even higher. I'll bet most of them stop or can't continue in business within the first 6 months. The first year, okay? The first year, 85%. Means 15% make it. And we want you to be in that 15%. Now, why do they fail? Why do so many fail so quickly? There's a lot of challenges. The biggest being cash flow. The cash flow management of this business can be a challenge until you get some things in place. Your compliance and safety, business management, finding loads, getting money in. There's, pressure from automatic trucks going out there. Some people are fearful of that. I wouldn't be. There's still going to be a lot of opportunity no matter what. People just will shift. But we got a long time before autonomous trucks put us out of business. Finding drivers, keeping drivers, that we get into in our mastery training, we get into a lot of that. And if you want to say yes to that and jump in to our mastery training, designed to get you to the fleet level of 10 trucks or more, then that's for you. we dive into freight rates, how they're calculated, how you need to calculate them, why it's a challenge, and the challenges and the pressure goes on and on and on in this business. If you don't get anything else from this free training, I want you to get this. Stay calm. Take a deep breath. Do it with me. Take a deep breath in and out. Get creative and always ask yourself, how could it work? You're going to have a challenge come in, and I want you to just stop and breathe and ask, how could it work? What would I need to do to get it to work? Don't say I can't do it. It's impossible. Don't go down those negative routes. Just take a deep breath and ask, how could it work? So what generally goes wrong? In the cash flow problems, they fall under some main categories, which we get into a lot of statistics and understanding how to run your business, and the foundations, training and mastery, and the coaching. We get in so deep so that you have the confidence to just know where the problem is, you know right where it is, and you can fix it easily and effortlessly. People that join our trainings, they just start suddenly finding that these problems that they're facing in their business, they just start one by one to melt away. They just leave, they just disappear, because knowledge is power. And when you leverage that knowledge, that's when you level up and can do so much more than you can at where you're at now. And that's why you're in this training, and I appreciate that you're here. But some of these cash flow problems are not charging enough. They're really susceptible to the spot market. Rates are up, they're down. They do some loads, but then their receivables really start adding up, but they have to pay all their costs now, their direct costs. It can be a lot. That right there puts most of them out of business. In the beginning, they buy too much truck and too much trailer, and they do it with too much credit. And they get themselves over leveraged, and then some slow times come, or some rate markets go lower, or they have some receivables they can't collect, or and then it just expounds the problem when they've done it on credit. The fact is, 98% of your great ideas aren't going to work. And when you add credit to that scenario, it just compounds the risk, and it's not worth it. And that's why we're here, to get you, no matter where you're at today in your equity position, your cash position, we are here to make you successful. We're here to help you stabilize your business, grow your business to where you want it to be, and because we want you to win. The goal is for you to be in business a year from now and to win. We just want you to win. We don't want two choices to be, I'm going to succeed or I'm going to fail. We want you to win, or win some more. Transportation is a capital-intensive business relative to gross income. Just means the barrier of entry is kind of big. Most of you who are watching this are already going. You already understand that. You're already in the business. And so we're not really tailoring to those brand new, how to get your DOT number, how to, get your first insurance, dealing with FMCSAs, all that stuff. There's a ton of stuff on YouTube out there for that kind of stuff. We're here to serve the business person who's looking to level up their business knowledge, skills, tools, so that they can take this business as high as they want to take it. The other thing that goes wrong, that is a challenge that new carriers face, is that when you're new, when your authority is new, even if you've been doing it a long time, when your authority's new, all of your expenses are higher and your income is going to be lower. That just is how it is. I've taken and scaled multiple trucking businesses, and it happens every time. As that authority's new, there's a cost, there's a risk for your insurance company, for brokers, for freight companies to take a risk on you. So they're trying to compensate for some of that with higher expenses and lower income, and you're going to face that. And so just be ready. Just do your best and don't get desperate and take cheap freight. Cheap freight, and especially cheap freight from bad customers who you are slow pay or never pay, it's just not worth it. You'll make more money sitting at the house. So one of the biggest things in our trainings is we talk about being a price maker or a price taker. And we want to be in that position of control, confidence and control in our business, knowing what we can take, and therefore, and as we develop other relationships, we can move into being a price maker. But I'm going to speak about the transportation industry as a whole, because it's so large. There's something along the lines of 750,000 registered DOT numbers at any one time. It's large enough that we're basically just a commodity. And commodity pricing, in the same way of metals or agricultural products, all commodity industries are basically, the price of the product is trying to always balance at the break even, which is the quote average cost of all the truck drivers. The people have been in it forever. You know, the people who came to this country, got off the Mayflower and started trucking. And the brand new authority, the average of those is where the price is always trying to balance. So in a commodity market, in a price taker market, you just have to be better than the average. You've got, your costs have to be lower. You have to be making higher rates. You just have to be better than the average. In general, in this industry, we are price takers. We have very little control over what we're paid. Now you negotiate rates and you do everything you can. We show you how to develop those relationships with shippers and get yourself in a position where you're more of a price maker than a taker. But in general, we're still basically a price taker. It follows fuel costs and other costs, the spot market does, and we're largely just a price taker. We can't price ourselves so high because there's so many competitors. And at the end of the day, the lowest cost producers are the ones who survive. But you can change some of that with your company positioning. One of the biggest things, or how specialized is your equipment and are your skills. Your skills being first, your equipment second. You can charge way more for specialized skills. Are you after, so they have thousands of loads of cheap toilet paper, paper towels, those sorts of loads. If they've got tens of thousands of loads that move a year of a certain product, those are going to be really cheap. They're just not going to pay that much money for them. There's very little money to begin with in the product, and then you take out broker's fees and storage fees and all those things. There's just not that money left. So if you're going in trying to compete in a race to the bottom of rates and just trying to be that, I would not I would not encourage you to do that. I would encourage you the other way, to become more specialized into something. That doesn't mean that you can't just run a dry van or a reefer and not be specialized. But a reefer is more specialized than a van trailer. A flatbed can, depending on your skill set, can be more advantageous than a reefer or a van. Some of that all depends on your local industry or the industries that you're going to serve. So you need to keep track of all those things in your mind of your positioning. Where do you fit into this industry? This industry is huge. And in each portion of it, in each niche, the more specialized you can get, the more money you can charge, and therefore the more you can make. Are you after just getting one of the hundreds of loads that they have available in the next 2 weeks? Or are you more like oversized or hot shot or one of a kind priceless freight? You can charge anything you want if you're more specialized. Now, I'm not saying you have to go run the ice roads, and I'm not saying that you have to do oversized or hot shot or one of a kind priceless freight. Just saying, if you specialize with either your equipment or your skills, if you can specialize, you can make more money. So don't get all hung up on what I wrote here. There's so many areas of specialization, even within each section of the industry. I'm going to do a little drawing here. So here we have this tree. Let's you and I start a tree trimming business. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We have this tree, and we are tasked with pruning it, with trimming it back, which means making it healthier, giving room for something else to grow. Okay, so we start, and we're just going to go to trimming. I'm going to trim this branch, trim this one, and I'm going to trim this one here. And that one's dead, so I'll go there, and I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to cut this one off, and this one off, and this one off. And here's some more. Cut those off. That's dead. That's dead. Now I know what you're thinking. I can hear you now. Okay, you're just wasting time. This is what most business owners in the trucking industry, new carriers, they are chasing all of the little costs and the little things that don't actually move the needle, that don't actually change the business. Where if I started here and just cut that one off, it's clear that that is not working. Whatever's going on there in this situation is not working, right? And then I cut here, right? It's like major surgery. It can be painful. You might need a little help. Okay, so if I basically cut the dead wood, instead of getting all the twigs and doing that approach, now you can get there eventually, but why don't we just lop it off right where it needs to be and go from there? It's more efficient and it's more effective. And that's what we're all about here, working smarter, not harder. And that's how we want you to be. We want you to work harder. Sorry, we want you to work smarter, not harder. And that's what we're here for. Especially if you get into our coaching, there's going to be some times where you get uncomfortable. We're going to ask some hard questions, and you're when you sign up for any of our trainings, you're giving us permission to stretch you, to pull you, to help you level up. And that's what we're here for, is to just chop it off, not dance around too much. So if you're somebody who's a little oversensitive, might not be the right place for you. We'll help you either way, no matter what. So the idea is to clear the dead wood out.